Hi everyone, very good morning and good evening to all. Thanks for joining. Let us start our today's session. I hope everyone has completed the table to table load, and we will see the introduction about this IICS tool, and we will take some flat files and we will load the data. So if you haven't completed the previous session, please complete it and send me the screenshot. So that is what we can track your effort. So first you can go to administrator page. So it will connect to the cloud and then it will show you the details. So here you can see the connections, right? All the connections, whatever the connection we want to create, so that we can create here. Even while creating the mapping, also you can create the connections. So if you are creating in the data integrator page, so that connection will be available here. Okay. If you want to edit this connection, yes, you can edit these connections in future. So if you want to add more connectors, you can go to add-on connectors and you can search whatever the connection you want, and then you can add. So there are a lot of connections are available, nearly 100 connections are available. So you can take whatever the connections. So you want to implement your IICS. We want to extract the data or load the data. So the lot of connections are available. These connections are add-on connectors. So you can use these connections. Then you can see the schedules. If I want to run the particular jobs, for an example, you want to schedule it, I can create a schedule here. So I can go for morning 7 a.m. I have to start. Okay, so you can put the schedule here, daily 7 a.m. You have to run this. Okay, description if you want to run, you can write. So you can put this 7 a.m. right? 7 a.m. in the morning, then you can, so whatever the time zone you want. So you can select this time zone and daily you have to put. So every day you have to go for these particular days, right? So you can create this particular schedule and then, so this is a schedule. This particular schedule, you can select it in the task. So in IICS, say for an example, if you have already have some experience on Informatica PowerCenter. So how this Informatica PowerCenter and IICS differs in terms of the mapping and the other components. Okay, so if you take the left-hand side is Informatica PowerCenter. So here we have the Informatica PowerCenter, right? See, all the transformations is common, mostly common. We do not have any source qualifier in IICS. Okay, we do not have any source qualifier in IICS. We do not have any update strategy in IICS. Source qualifier, whatever the source qualifier we do have, that is called source transformation in IICS. Whatever we do have update strategy, so that they have implemented on target transformation. So if you see this Informatica PowerCenter, normally we will call in Informatica PowerCenter, we will call it as a mapping, right? So mapping, and you can see the naming convention, you can make M underscore, right? The same way IICS, yes, it is also same way we will call it as it's a mapping, same M underscore, you can use it here. And you can go for the session. So here it is a session, right? Yes, you can have the session here, and we will call this session as S underscore the mapping name, right? So S underscore mapping name you will put. But here the session we will call it as task. Okay, it is mapping task. So you will call it as it's a mapping task. Mapping task. So mapping task. So we will call it as MTT. So or MCT mapping configuration task, mapping task, or MT underscore. So everything is similar. Okay. So all are like some project we will call it as MTT underscore, some project we will call it as MCT underscore mapping task. MCT is nothing but mapping configuration task. And here in PowerCenter, we'll call it as workflow, right? So we'll call it as workflow, and we will put WF underscore or WKF underscore. The same thing here, we will call it as it's a task flow. Okay, the task flow EF underscore. Okay, so that's what we will name it. And you can see the difference. So that's what we will put. But in PowerCenter, in order to run the mapping, we need to have a session and we need to have a workflow. But in IICS, mapping we can execute, and separately we can execute, and mapping task we can execute, and task flow we can execute. In the task flow, you can have a lot of different tasks also we have, like mapping task and lot of other tasks, replication tasks, synchronization task, data transfer task, PowerCenter task, dynamic task. So a lot of different tasks are available so that we can use it. Okay. And this is what. See, if you are using any sequence generator, for an example, if you are using any sequence generator or any caching, okay, say for an example, sequence generator will use the sequences should be stored in the caching, right? So then only next time, for an example, today the next value equal to 10. And tomorrow, while starting the next value, it should be 11, right? So next run. So where it will be stored? It will be stored on the cache memory. So if I want to store a value in the cache memory, then we have to go for mapping task. So if you create a mapping task, then only it will remember the sequence numbers. And if you're simply creating a mapping, next time it will create from the beginning only. Okay, so these things we need to remember. So normally in real-time project, we will have a mapping task for all the mappings. Okay, so mapping task. Yeah, so you watch this recording, you can get clear idea. Whenever we want to have a sequence, right? Say for an example, today I am starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. I'm starting for the sequence number for a primary key or something, surrogate key I'm using. That means this is the used value, right? So next time tomorrow while starting, it should be started from 7 only, right? It should not start with 1. So if it is starting from 1, then it is a unique constraint violation, you will get it, correct? So that's why the value should be stored in memory. So if I want to store this value particular memory, then we have to have a mapping task. In mapping task only, all the values should get saved. So while taking the sequence generator, we will see clearly. So that's what we can see. And if you go to this is the administrator page, okay? And you can go to the data integration page. So data integration service, you can see this, right? And you can see this is the explore. In the explore, you can see a lot of bundles are available. Bundles is used for the CI, API calls and everything. And you can create a project. See here, you can create a project. If you want to create a project, yes, you can create a project. And this is the project name I'm just giving. So inside the project, you can create multiple folders. See, I'm going to particular project. Inside the project, you can create a folder. Say for an example, I want to create a development. Yes, I can create. And I want to go for QA. Yes, I can create QA here. Multiple folders you can create. Okay, so whatever the components you are creating, so that should be stored in one particular folder here. So you can create a component here also. And you'll be seeing the import options, right? This import is nothing but you can import the files. So that I will tell you later, whatever the assets you want to import, so that you can import it from one account to another account you want to import, or from production to QA or production to dev, you want to import it. Yes, you can import it. So that's what you can go for import options here. And even you can move the components from one location to another location. So copy means the source and target, you will have the data. Sorry, the component will be available. Move means it will not be available in the source. it will be moved to another destination. Then you can see the export. So these things I will take, I will show you some, after some time I will show you, okay? So this is what the Explore. Inside Explore, you can create a project. Inside the project, you can create the folders. Clear? Yes. After that, and these bundles and everything is for CI component. And you can see, click on the plus symbol, you can see the assets. So different assets are available. Task. So that's what I have told. Like for mapping, we will create a mapping task. Okay, it's similar to session in PowerCenter. Okay, so whenever we want to create a session, so in IICS, we can create a mapping task. Then we do have a synchronization task, a replication task, masking task, PowerCenter task, dynamic mapping task, data transfer task, all other different tasks will be available here. Okay. So this is what the different task. We will see all this one by one later. Then here mapping, yes, you can create a mapping here, but we do have some templates. If you see this, some templates are available. If I want to use these templates, we can use it. But normally in real-time project, we will not use any templates like type 1, type 2, all this we have, right? But we will not use these templates, just we will use. And in IICS, we do not have any reusable transformation. Okay. Okay, I got one message that I couldn't see dynamic task. Yeah. So I think you have only 4 services, right? Data integration services. Yeah, you have to create a new account. In that new account, select administrator role. Then you'll have all these services. Okay. So new account, you create it next time. So all other services it will be available. So give different company name and different email ID. You will get all this administrator page. Okay. In Informatica PowerCenter, we do have a reusable session, right? So reusable session, yes. But the reusable session is not there. Reusable transformation. Reusable transformation in the PowerCenter we do have. But here IICS, we do not have any reusable transformation. That we have to go for maplet only. Even a single transformation or multiple transformations, we have to create a maplet only. So that's what we are seeing here. The maplet. Okay. So if you have any maplet in PowerCenter that we want to import it, yes, you can import from here. And task flow, as I told, different task flows are available. So this is a task flow. Normally, this is what we will create. Other than this one, so all others are template. Okay. So the predefined one, just we have to select the task and we will have this parallel task, sequential task, linear task. So all this we will have. And this is the task flow normally we will create. It is similar to workflow. We can do some automations here. Okay, so all the automations we can do in the task flow. Then we do have components. So what is the components? Say for an example, I want to create a file watcher for the event wait. Yes, you can create a file watcher here. This is file listener. And you want to save this query for, it's like a view. Okay, so for the source, we want to create as a view. Yes, you can create a saved queries and the hierarchical schema you have to create to define XML structure and JSON structures and intelligent structure model for to define the structure of the Excel file and fixed with file format. Yeah, different file formats are available. Components are available. We will see one by one. Okay. User defined functions and shared sequences. All this we will see one by one. So these are all the assets are available in IICS. For an example, these are all like data integration module, right? So after that, do we have any worklet in IICS? No, we do not have any worklet here. Okay, we do not have any worklets. So here we have worklet, right? In PowerCenter we have worklet, but here we have to create a workflow and that is task flow. Okay, task flow inside you can call one more task flow. Okay, that's what we will have. We will have the worklet here. Okay, task flow. So inside the task flow, you can take one more task flow. So that task flow is the worklet. Okay. So that I will tell you this concept one by one we will see. So that's what we have. Okay, I got one more question. So when can we use stored procedure? Yes, say for an example, in IICS, we do not have any stored procedure transformation. Yes, PowerCenter, we have stored procedure, right? Stored procedure transformation and SQL transformation separately. Both are separate. But in IICS, they have taken the stored procedure into this SQL transformation. Okay. So they have taken this stored procedure into SQL transformation. So only SQL transformation we have. Only SQL transformation we have. Stored procedure, they have taken into SQL transformations. We do not have any separate stored procedure transformation, and we have only SQL transformation. When we will use SQL transformation? See, for an example, in your project, some complex logic still is running on PLSQL procedure. Okay, PLSQL functions is running. So either it will be Oracle or transact SQL in SQL Server. So whatever the procedure is running, if I want to invoke those procedures from Informatica, then I can use SQL transformation here. Okay. So SQL transformation, yeah, these concept you will see one by one later. So these are all the different components are available in IICS. Okay. And if you see this, you can able to see the application integration, right? You can go to application integration. So normally in the data integration, we will call it as it's a mapping task, all this. But in IICS, the application integration, we will call it as a process. Okay, say for an example, I from the front end. So from API, I have to take the data. Yes, you have to create the process, and we have to do this all this Swagger files and these the connectors. Okay, these connectors, APIs, and everything is related to the front end, right? So create an application connection. Just you can create a connections and then you can invoke. So those APIs, okay, the data from the front end and you can proceed. So this is for application integration. Okay, so if you have some knowledge on API and all this, so just to try this. For application integration, you need to have some tools called Postman, all these tools. If you have prior experiences on API calls, and this will be useful for you. Okay, is it clear? So one of the interview, can we run workflow of Informatica in IICS? Yes, we can run. So we have the PowerCenter task, right? So here, if you see this, we have the PowerCenter task, right? So import a PowerCenter workflow. Okay, if you have a workflow, then you can import it and you can run it in the IICS. I will tell you, but only the disadvantage as of now, right? So that workflow should contain only one session. If the workflow contains one session, that workflow you can import it here and you can execute here. So that's what you can go for PowerCenter task. Okay, so if you have any questions, yeah, I will take all your questions through chat as of now. Finally, we will have the question and answer. Okay. Yeah. So this is the PowerCenter task. So this PowerCenter task you can take, but provided you should have only one session in the workflow. Got it? If you have more than one session, you cannot import it, but you cannot edit it. So you cannot edit anything in the PowerCenter task. Sorry, PowerCenter task in IICS, you cannot edit it anything. Yeah, do you have any questions? Yeah, we will see one by one all this. And so so we cannot import SCD types from Informatica PowerCenter. Yeah, we cannot import it through PowerCenter task. Okay, we do have some utilities. So that utilities your company needs to buy from Informatica. So we have IICS migration factory we have. So that migration factory or some other concept, we have to import it. Okay. So code page Implementation of last session. I'm not sure what is the question. Code page you are asking. Yeah, we will do it. Okay, so I hope you are clear on this. We will see how to read the data from a flat file. Okay, for an example, I do have flat file here. I will take the data from. So I will send you this file, but if I want to create a flat file, yes, you can create it. So what I will do, this flat file, I will send it to you. Select star from employees. You can put this employees data. You can see here, I have the data here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to export it. So you can also do it. Why am I doing it? So this time I'm going to read the data from a flat file. I hope you are clear on this. What is the difference between Informatica PowerCenter and IICS components level? Okay, this particular sheet, I will send it to you. IICS versus Informatica PowerCenter. Okay, so this sheet I will send it to you. Have a look at it. And so what we are going to do now, yesterday we have seen table to table load, right? So we are going to take the data from a flat file. Okay, so you assume that your source team is placing the file. Okay, your source team is providing you the file. We have to read the data from this file and we have to write it into a table. Okay, so normally in real-time project, the source team will give us the file, but here, so we are the source, we are the team, right? So we are going to create this file. So what is the file? Okay, so you can have whatever the file you want. For an example, CSV file, TXT file, Excel file, and you can go for JSON file, and you can go for XML file. So these concept we will see one by one, but today we will take CSV file. Okay, and TXT file, it's similar to CSV, and this is the flat file. So we are going to read the data from this flat file, and we are going to write the data to a table. It might be a RDBMS table. Okay, so RDBMS table, that's what Oracle table, or it might be a Snowflake or any other database. Okay, cloud database. We will see all other clouds later one by one. And this is what the table I'm going to have. Say for an example, I'm going to have the table. So whatever the table yesterday we have imported, right? We have created that particular table. We are going to read the data. So I'm going to create one flat file called, this is the flat file I'm going to create. It is a CSV file, comma separated value file. So that file, we are going to read it from this particular source to the target. Okay. So this is the file, right? You can see here. This is a table. From the table, I want to create a file. I will export it. Okay, export. The format you can choose CSV. Top you can find the CSV. And do you want double quotes on the characters, the string data types? If you do not want, yes, you can put it like none. Okay. Then where do you want to save this? So I want to save this file in the src underscore files. Say for an example, you have something like src underscore files. So I will save this here. Source is flat files, right? I will save this and you can see finish it. So where it will get saved, and you can go to C drive. You can go to src files. Okay, this is the path I have created. For an example, this is the file, and I will put all this file into some backup or archive folder. So backup, I have moved it. Okay, we assume that this is the source file just we have created today. I will send you this file. Okay, so you can go to open with. You can see you can open with, but we should not open with Excel. But if you want to open it, yes, you can open it. But Notepad++, I'm just opening. You can see here, this is the file we have. But if you one disadvantage in IICS that we do not have this format. This date and time format we do not have. Okay, this MMDDYY format we do not have. So for that we need to create with date and time with YYY format, 4Y format. So for that, what I will do, one more time I will do it. I'll go to this one. select employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, right? See this hire date only, I want to make it like some format, 2 hire date of. So I want in this format some -dd-dd-yyyy format. Okay. So you have to inform your source team that, so this is the format you need to get it. Okay. Not only this format, we do have some different format, but we do not have YY format. So that's why I'm just making this way. See here. So I'm just making this and I'm going to export this file. Okay. Export it. CSV. I do not want double quotes. I'm going to this src_files. And I'm going to save this one more time. Okay. So I will send you this. See, you can also do it by yourself. And you can see this file now. Open with Notepad++. And you can see here the file format. Yes, it is MMDD-YYY format. Okay, you can have the format. I can see some lag in the screen, the audio, not sure if with me alone. You are seeing some lag in the audio and video? No, it might be a network issue. Yeah. So it might be your end network issue. Please check the network. Okay. Okay. So this is the file. So the file contains some space and all, no issues, but say this is the comma separated value file, right? Yes. This file I have to read the data. I want to read the data from this particular file and I'm going to load it into a table. So how to do it? So you can go to this particular task, go to mapping task. For an example, very first time you have to create a path for this source also. So where I can create, I can go to administrator. First go to administrator. You can create it. You can also create in the while taking the file, source file. But here also you can do. You can go to the connections. So normally in Informatica PowerCenter, we will go for path, right? But here we have to create a connection. Go to new connections. This is path only, but we have to give in this way. Source flat file connection. Just I'm making this way. Source flat file connection. So I want to make this is the flat file. Say for an example, you have the flat file from SFTP and path you have to define. Yes, you can connect with SFTP and FTP also. But since I have the file in the local, so just I'm mentioning that flat file. Okay. Runtime environment is local runtime environment. It's a local file, right? So directory I have to select. So C drive this particular directory. And this is the date and time format. You remember? I have given the date and time format, right? So previously, previous to this version, we do not have these many formats. So now they have implemented so many formats. The format of our data is, so what is the format? We'll see. It's MMDD-YYI format, right? MM-DD-YYI format. So where is the format? Yeah, MM-DD-4Y. So this is the format. So code page, I'm just selecting like, so if you want, you can select Windows Latin 1. It's fine. I will tell you what is a code page of UTF-8 and other code page. Okay. So this is a code page I'm selecting. You assume that. So I'm making this save. And this connection I have created. I can go to the data integration here. Just to create the connection here, go to data integration path. And we have to read the data from this flat file. Okay. So I'm going to create a new mapping. Here I'm going to create a mapping. The mapping name I'm going to give M_source_flat file_. So employees data, right? Yes, I can make in this way. The location is by default is selecting default, but we have created, right, this particular location. Yes, you can select. So whatever the folder you want or only project you want, you can select it. So it will be stored under this particular project, this particular folder. Okay, it has been stored. If you want to describe something, you can add a description also. So this is what. Then you can go to the left hand side. You are seeing all this transformation, right? These transformations we will see one by one later, but this is our source. Normally in the PowerCenter, we will take one time source and multiple times you can drag and drop. But in IICS, we cannot do it in that way. So you can see here. So source. So what is the source here? It's a file, right? You can go to the source here, go to source, and you can see this connection, right? This connection you have to choose. It is a single object. Yes, it is a single object. I will tell you what is file list. Okay, command and parameter later, but it's a single object. So select that. For an example, if you forget to create the connections, you can create from here also. Okay. And if you want to make the connection also like a parameter, you can do it. But I will tell you these connection parameters and all later. Okay, while taking the parameter session. But here I'm going to select. So we have chosen the file path, right? So definitely it will show you the file directly. You can see this is the file. So we have defined this is the file and it has been last modified on today. So you can select it here. Since it is a flat file, you will not have any query options here. Okay. So advanced, if you go to this, you will see all the advanced options. Okay, field. Since source is a flat file, so very first time you can see all the data types are string, but we have to define what is the data type. Okay, so what is the data type? We have to take it. Okay, and if you see this, add currently processed file name field. You want a file name field? Yes, you can put this one. Retain existing fields at the runtime. You can put this field, but see here, I'm going to edit these data types. How can I edit from here? How can I edit? Okay, go to options here and use edit metadata. You can use skip the cursor here. You can see. So this is the data type. This is native data type. Native data type means source data type. So that we can convert this into a decimal number. So number of some 10 digit or 8 digit. So employee ID, 8 digit. So I'm converting. So this is my number is my from flat file and decimal is from Informatica side. Okay. So you know, right? So how it converts source qualifier, how it converts source data type into Informatica native data type. So that's what this is the flat file data type. This is the Informatica data type. First name you can keep it as it is, last name, phone number as it is, hire date. The hire date you have to make it like a date and time. Right? So you have to make it like date and time. So we have already defined the date and time format in this particular location itself, file path itself, and job ID, salary. Salary is number. So if you want number decimal point, so here you have to put the decimal point. Okay. So number of 10, 2. 10, 2 means totally 10 digit. Out of the 2 digits are decimal point. So commission percentage, you can go for number of 2, 2. So 2, 2 means totally 2 digits, all the 2 digits are decimal. That's the meaning. Okay. 2, 2. And this manager ID is number of 4. And here also you have to do number of 4. So all the definition we have done it here, right? So that's it. We have defined all the field. So that we have to pick. Since we are keeping one source and if we need to read more than one file, like a 10 source file, yeah, that's what I will tell you. Okay, one by one I will tell you. Okay, that's called file list. So in Informatica PowerCenter, we have something called indirect file loading, right? So here we have the concept called file list. So these are all the files we have defined the length and everything, right? So if you want to remove any columns, yes, you can remove columns. If you want to add any columns, yes, you can add it here. Okay. So minimize it. Then you can keep, since it is a flat file, so it is not defining anything. So I will go to the target, but in between, if you want to add any transformations, you can add it here. You can go for targets, open the target, and you can see here target connection. Just I'm adding target as table. So I'm going to read the data from a flat file. I'm going to write the data to table. So I can keep here, sorry, T underscore employees. This is a table, right? And insert operations. And I want to make truncate and load. Before loading the data into target table, it will truncate and load it. That's what truncate and load will do. So when we add a column explicitly, does it reflects in the flat file as well? No, it will not reflect. Okay, if you are adding column here, then null value will be passed to the particular column. So normally in source, don't add any columns. After that, if you want to add a column, add it in the expression. Okay, truncate target table options, go for field mapping. You have to do the field mapping here, smart map. So you can map it here. We can save this. Okay, so you can save this. And this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a mapping task. In IICS, we do not have any debugger. Okay, remember, in IICS, we do not have any debugger. So in PowerCenter, we have the debugger, right? So PowerCenter, we have the debugger, yes. So what is the debugger? If I want to know this, any logical error, okay, if I'm not getting the correct data, if the session got succeeded, if I want to backtrack it, the flow, then I can go for the debugger, I can run it. But in IICS, we do not have any debugger. So in IICS, how can I debug it then? So in IICS, we do have the preview data. Okay, remember this. In IICS, we do have preview data. For each and every transformations, you can preview the data. So that's what you can identify, okay, how the data is coming from. So all this. So you can see here preview, right? Preview. So this preview will tell you that how the data is flowing, all this. It will, the runtime, it will pick the data and then it will show you. Want it to run it here. So this preview, you can see all the transformation that we will see later, but I want to tell you that what is preview here. Okay. So now for this particular mapping, I want to create a session. Yes, I can go here. I can create a task, mapping task. I want to create, just to create it and mapping task. So MCT underscore or MT underscore, anything is fine. So MT underscore source underscore flat file underscore employees, right? So employees data. So in this particular location description, if you want to add the descriptions. Runtime environment is local runtime environment. Mapping, it will ask you to select. So this is the mapping, right? So select the mapping. And this is the mapping task. And it will select source and target here. Go to next. And you can see this schedule details, right? So do you want to schedule this particular mapping task? Yes, you remember we have created one schedule, daily 7 a.m. If you choose this, if you save this, daily 7 a.m., this particular task will get automatically started, scheduled. Okay, so but I'm not scheduling it. I'm going with email notification. Do I need to get any email notification for failure? Yes, you can put some failure email ID. This particular email ID, you will get a notification. Okay, so I want to make it like this particular email ID. The task, if it is getting succeeded or failed, you will get notifications. Pre-processing command. That means before starting this particular mapping, say for an example, your source team is placing the zipped file. I want to unzip the file, read the data. So you can put the command here. So after processing the file, you have to rename the file. You have to archive the file. Okay, so those commands you can add it here. Post processing command, maximum number of log files. See, in Informatica PowerCenter, the maximum number of, by default, maximum number of log file is only one. So every time it will overwrite. But here, last 10 log files will be stored. Okay. So this concept I will take later, the parameters and other concept. You can go and finish it. So can we give only one email ID? You can give any number of email ID. Okay. Have to do that manually. So does IICS do email validation, whether it is valid email or not? No, it will not do it. So you have to provide valid email ID. So what are the advanced options, pre-process and post-process? So that's what I have explained. If you want to make any commands, you can put some commands. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. You can go to my jobs. In the my jobs, you can see it is running, right? And I will open the map, the email. We should have received the email. So once it is completed, so you can refresh it, showing like succeeded, right? You can see this is the mapping. So this color represents a mapping. This color represents mapping task. You can see one envelope on the mapping task, right? Sorry, mapping. So this is mapping. After that, you are seeing one envelope, right? So that is called mapping task. You can select what is mapping task and mapping all this. So you can see here the inbox, we got it. The mapping task has been successfully completed and you are seeing all these details, right? So all the details. So success rows, all this you are seeing. So even if it got failed, you will get notifications. So normally success email, very few tasks we will put it, but failure email, we'll put all the tasks. Okay, so if the task is failing, so it should be triggered to the particular team, production support team, right? So normally we'll put it, right? So you can see here the data should get loaded into this particular table. So you can see all the 106 records. So if you are doing some mistake, it will not get loaded. Okay, you have to be very carefully. You have to load. See here, all the data got loaded. If you're doing some mistake on the date, then it will not, date column or some other columns, it will not get loaded. Even if you are giving, if you are not giving that particular scale value, then this commission percentage also will not get loaded. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give some special characters. Okay, some Unicode characters I'm going to give you. In the failure email can be attached a corresponding log also. Yes. But here we cannot do it. It is a predefined only email ID only we can do. But in the task flow, see here in the task flow, right? If I have the task flow, these things I will take later. But in the task flow, we have the email notification. So you have to invoke this particular mapping, and then you have to put in the task flow, you have to put here. This is similar to workflow, right? So you have the notification task. So this task you have to call. And if you open this task, we will have all these details, right? The email body, content. So if you go to edit contents, you can able to see all this details. So whatever you want to add it, so you can put all this here. So depends on the previous session. Okay, but these things I will take later. I hope you are clear. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add some special characters. If multiple emails, should we give comma? Yes, you have to give comma, or you can give semicolon also. So comma and semicolon, both you can give. And if I have some Unicode characters, okay, say for an example, I have some Unicode characters. So I will take some characters from here. I will add it in the flat file. Yeah, these details I will take it, okay. So I assume that I'm going to add here. So I'm making that. So this way. So I'm making this way, okay. some special characters, I'm adding it. You assume that I'm adding some special characters. So will it read this data? Directly it will read? No, it will not read directly. And you should mention that it's a Unicode character, right? Yes, you have to put some, if I'm getting some Unicode characters, yes, definitely you have to put some. So I'm making some Unicode characters. Okay. So this characters, I'm going to save this. So I'm going to run this. I have some Unicode characters now. So this task, I'm going to run it one more time. So rerun. So I'm not doing any changes on Informatica level. So just a data. So next time you assume that they have placed some Unicode characters, some different characters they have added. So it got processed. We will see now. Okay. So whether it has loaded or not. See here. So how the data got loaded. So wrongly data got loaded, right? So it is not correctly loaded. So that means some different data got loaded. So in order to accommodate the Unicode characters, the database should have. So if you describe the table, BSC, and here I'm going to do it. The first name column, right? The first name column, it should be a n-varchar2 column. Okay. So n-varchar2 column. So how can I change it like n-varchar2 column? And also, for an example, each and every field, this particular data, how many characters it will take? How many characters it will take? It may take 2 characters. It may take 4 characters. It may take 3 characters. Okay. So it is not one single character. So if you have 10 characters, you need to give 20 characters for that. Actual value, you have only 10 characters. You assume that. So you have some 10 characters. In order to accommodate this value, you have to provide maximum number of characters. Okay, double the amount you have to give. So what I'm going to give, I'm going to change this particular data type as some different, so n-varchar 2 data type. Okay, I'm just truncating. I'm going to change this data type. So manually I will update. Okay, go to columns, and this is the columns, right? So you can go to edit. So I'm editing manually, but you can do it like alter table. Okay. So employee ID, you can choose n-varchar. So I'm selecting like n-varchar 2, and I'm going for some 100 characters. So first name is now n-varchar. So this, in order to accommodate this, you need to have n-varchar. Okay. Okay. So now the database we have, yes, we have changed it, but still we will run it. Okay. Whether it is processing correctly or not, we'll see it. Okay. We'll run one more time. Had succeeded. You can see here, still it is not loaded correctly, right? So why? Because table we have n-varchar 2, but we have to do it on the mapping level also. Go to mapping and see here. So all the data types and everything, we have to change it. So go to source, field. So here we need to change from string to n string. Okay, it's already there like n string only, right? So n string only is there, 255 characters, no issues here. And we will change the code page. So go to this connections, open this to source. So edit connections. So UTF-8 I'm making. Okay. And I changed the connections, and target also will check it. What is the data types on this? So target, a string is there. That's fine. Okay. So no need to go for. Okay. We'll change it like n varchar. Okay. Save this. And I will run it. I will just edit it since I have changed. So wherever we have that particular date, everything should be like everywhere we have to change. Okay. So if you are missing any one place, it will not get loaded correctly. So is it loaded? Okay. But why it got loaded only this particular way? It is not loaded fully, right? It is not loaded fully. So you remember we have given 20 characters, correct? So somewhere it is getting truncated. We will see where it is getting truncated. We will open this. We'll go to source field. We'll check it. Source field we have given 255, but the target we will check it. So might be a target one. So see here 20 characters, right? You are seeing 20 characters, but how many characters are actually there? So this particular value, how many characters? So you may think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? But each and every character will take two characters, right? So that is why it is taking 20 characters up to now. Clear? So even though we are giving like a 20 characters, why it is getting truncated? So each and every character will take two characters. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that's why it is getting loaded like this. So what we have to do, we have to change this one to higher level. So you can make it like something like 100. So n varchar, make sure that it should be n varchar. Okay. I'm going to run it now. We'll truncate and then it will get loaded one more time. Okay. So getting error. Oh, another task is already running. Okay. My jobs. One more time I will run it. So in your real-time project, if you are getting any Chinese character or Japanese character, you have to choose the correct code page. I hope you are clear now. See here, I'm going to see that. So it is getting loaded correctly, right? Are you clear what is the code page and what is the use of the n varchar to all this? So how to change the database level in Informatica level, all this? Yes, you have to do it all the ways. So I hope you are clear. And yeah, so in this particular data, in this particular, any doubts so far? Any doubts? All right. Okay. So in this particular file, in the data itself, for an example, 102, in the data itself, I'm getting comma. So what will happen? Okay, what will happen here? So if you are running, so it will skip that one particular record and then it will get loaded. So, but you may get warning. You cannot schedule a mapping. You can schedule a task or task flow. It is a part of data how to handle it. Which one? Which one part of data? Yeah, so that's what I'm doing it now, right? The comma is part of data. It will fail it now, right? So you are getting warning and one record. So 105 record got loaded. Okay, you see here 105 record got loaded. One record got rejected, right? Failure one record. So where it is failing? So you want to make sure that higher date, some invalid date, higher date, you are getting some phone number. One column is coming like extra. So if you want to handle it, two way you can handle it, right? So one thing you can inform your source team that put double quotes. You can ask them put to double quotes. Then if you are making double quotes here for all the character fields, then it will be handled. This is one thing. So you can ask them to put double quotes. That's a quotes here. So 106 records got loaded. So you can see here the data will have a comma now, right? So data itself, you have the comma. The other way is you can ask them, okay, so the team is giving you this way, and you may get the double quotes is not appropriate one, and you should not put it. And we can ask them, okay, so instead of this, we can go for different delimiters, right? So we can go for multiple delimiters or different delimiters. Okay, instead of comma, I'm going to make it like a different delimiters. And I'm going to use pipe delimiter. Pipe delimiter file replace all. It has been replaced. I'm making some comma here. Okay, some comma here. And this is what this comma is there in the data. But what is the delimiter now? It's a pipe delimited file. Where we have to change? Where we have to change? In the connection, we have to change it, right? In the connection, we have to change. Go to edit, not edit the task. You have to edit the mapping. So edit mapping, source, open it, go to source here and go to the connection, right? View connection. Sorry, not connection. You have to make it the formatting options. Okay, this is the connection. Connection is part one. Go to formatting options. In formatting, it's a delimited file. It is not comma delimited file. You can go to other delimited file. You can put pipe symbol. That's it. Okay. You have to read the data from first data row at second row. If the data of the file itself, it doesn't have any header, then you can put one here, right? Okay. So I can put pipe delimiter and you can save this. You can run it now. Got it? We'll see. So if I have multiple delimiters, okay, so sometimes your source team saying that data itself, we will get pipe delimit, pipe symbol. You have to load it. So then we cannot make it like, okay, why we are getting some error, we will see. So in the higher date, yes. See why it is showing that higher date is this way, right? See, whenever we are changing the file format, this one, you can see this field, all the field will go to string only. So it has been changed, right? We have to change it one more time. So go to edit metadata, you have to change it. So number of 6, and you can go to high date column, date and time, salary, number, 10, commission percentage, number, 10, number 4. See here, this time I'm not giving any scale value for commission percentage. Okay. So intentionally I'm providing, I will show you. It will not load any decimal point. So I have given here, save this. And now the delimiter is pipe delimited file. Okay. I can run this mapping task. Sorry, I'm running mapping. Going to the mapping task, run it. Yeah, you have to do a lot of practice. So then only in real-time project, you can find where is the error. Okay. You have to do a lot of practice. See here, all the data got loaded. You may have comma here, right? So you have the comma here. Yes, it has loaded correctly. So how can I go with multiple delimiters? It's very simple. In IICS is very, very simple, right? You can go to source and go to formatting options. You can put multiple delimiters. Okay, so whatever the delimiter you want, you can go for some delimiters. Yes, this delimiter I'm using. You assume that, okay? If I'm changing, then again you have to change all the field. See? So it's coming like why single field is coming? Any idea why single field is coming? So in the field, why single field is coming? It's showing like all the field names, right? Why? Because I changed the file format in IICS, but I haven't changed it here, right? That's why. So you have to change it here also. So here also I have to change to same delimiter, replace all. Yes, we have replaced everything. So whenever I'm finding that this one, it is a delimiter now, right? So I can save this. This is a delimiter for multiple delimiter file. Okay, the delimiter is, so this is the delimiter, right? You can see it, the tilde symbol, at symbol, hash symbol. So all the three is one single delimiter. Now if you refresh, so you'll have all the field, okay? You will have all the field now, right? Yes, it has been defined. You can go to edit metadata, and the same way you have to edit it here also. So number of 6. Higher date is date and time. Commission percentage is number. This is also number. Number of 4. Number of 4. And here also I'm using number of 4. So I'm not using the decimal point. If you don't use the decimal point, you can see here all these are null only, 0 only. See here. So why? Because you are not using scale, right? So scale is for decimal point. You remember this. So I'm going to run this now. I'm running the mapping. I will run mapping task. It should get loaded now. Okay. So this is what multiple delimiters you can have it. A different Unicode character also. So I will give you some Unicode characters with the data file. Okay. So just to load that particular data. So any failure email? Yes, we got the failure, right? You can see this failure email, all this. Success. So all the rows got loaded. You can see here data should get loaded. Clear? Any doubts? So all the data got loaded. Since I'm not making that decimal point, it is not loaded. I will give you flat file with some Unicode characters and all this. Different file I will give it to you. Try to load that file. Okay. Yeah. Native scale. That's what I have informed you, right? Native scale. You remember? I have explained this native scale. See the native, the type. Okay. The native type is. So what is the native type? Data type, right? It's our source data type. This data type is our Informatica data type. The same way, native precision, precision, native scale, scale. Similar, right? Source one. Yes. Whatever you are giving native file or if it is a JSON file or TXT file or any other file. So that's what. But we will see the other flat files tomorrow, like how to read the data from Excel sheet, all this. But this is the way we will do. In PowerCenter, we could re-import the flat file, but here we have to manually change the data type each time. Yes, correct. Manually we have to change. But this is after deploying, you will not change it, right? So this is a development. Yes, we have to change it. Any other questions? If you have any questions, please raise hands. I will unmute. You can ask the questions. Are we going to use Parquet files? Parquet files, if you have, yeah, we will see, but we can keep the Parquet file in S3 and we can read it the same way. Native scale means scale is nothing but you are getting the decimal point. Okay, 0.00, 0.01. Okay, so those things. That's a native scale means source file scale. How many numbers you can go for? Any numbers you can go for, no issues. We have to define here, right? That's it. So where we can see running logs for task. Yeah, running logs you can see here. The task you can go to my jobs, right? Yeah, this is what you can download the logs. Okay, the logs you can download from here. If you keep the cursor here, it will show you the download logs. Okay, you can download and then see. So what is the Parquet file? It's like a big data. We used to have one kind of format, right? That's a Parquet file. JSON or XML source. So that is what I'm keep on telling. JSON or XML source. Should I take now? One by one only I can go, right? See, JSON and XML file I will take. I will send you, all of you, I have sent the course content. Please go through the course content. I will go one by one, okay? JSON and XML, today morning only I have explained. JSON and XML file, I will do it on next session. I have informed you, right? But you are asking JSON and XML file one more time. I'm not sure whether you have listened or not. Okay, can we create mapping task without scheduler? Yes, we can create. So why? Because I have created without task only, right? Without scheduling, I have created, right? So scheduling I haven't provided. So there is no scheduler. So only see here. Schedule, I didn't give this. You can create. Can we import mapping and maplet from PowerCenter? Yes, we can do that. I will tell you later. Okay, we can import it. I'm unable to see my saved mapping when I relog in. Where should I check? Maybe, okay, you are not seeing that. Go to Explore. In the Explore, you can go to this. You might be seeing here or inside. So wherever you have saved it here, right? Today I have executed here. Yes, it should be available here. Yesterday I have created in the default one, right? So you can go to default. You can see here it is available. Okay, you can go to Explore. Default, all the projects will be available. Can we change tracing level? Yes, stop on error, all these are available. Stop on errors, all these are available here. Okay, so here if you go to next one, we have advanced session properties, right? Add it here. You want stop on errors. So you'll be having stop on errors. You can put stop on error equal to 1. That's it. Okay, you can add it here. Where? Mapping task, and go to edit. Mapping task here. And you can put advanced session properties. Okay, but give me some time to explain all this. Okay, I will explain, don't worry. Common integration component is stopped. Common integration component, no issues. You can stop it and restart it. So you have mentioned that it has saved 10 logs. Where can we check these logs? See, that's what all the session logs, it will be available my jobs, right? See, these are all the previous session logs, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, up to last 10 logs, it will be available. After that, it will get override. So where it will be stored? On the cloud. these are all runs, my jobs. So monitor, you can see here my jobs. Okay, clear? So this is previous one, previous one, previous one. But in PowerCenter, it will get overwritten, right? Here it will not overwrite. I hope you are clear. We will stop it here. Rest. Oh, see, please give me some time. Keep on, I'm telling. If you are asking override SQL and all, I will take later. Why you are asking today? Are you expecting all this concept by one single day? So I cannot answer all these questions, right? So please go and check this course content and then ask the questions. So whatever the doubts you have here, then you can ask me. The other doubts, I will explain later only. So how can I take such query override here today and the flat file exercise? Give me some time, okay? You can ask questions, that's okay, but you have to ask related to this particular today's task, right? So if you have any questions on uh, flat file issues, then ask me. Any other questions, I will address it later on. Okay. Do we have option to read columns at runtime? Columns at runtime. I'm not getting what is it.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So in BDM, we have an option to read columns at runtime, which means in source, we can check read columns at runtime. There is a checkbox and we don't have to define the columns. So at runtime, it would pick it from that object.
Okay,
Not
but
just
here
for
it is.
flat file.
Here it is not possible. But if you
Okay.
want to take the column names, okay, if you want to make the file names in the column, then we can make it here. Add currently processed file name field. Column names, it will not take it in the runtime. We have to define it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, I hope I have answered. But if it is not clear, if you have still questions, please ask me tomorrow. I will answer all your questions. Okay. But we will go one by one. Okay. So please give me some time. Can we add timestamp to log files? So log files will be stored in the cloud. Okay. Cloud. Yeah, we will stop it here. Rest I will take it tomorrow. And tomorrow we will see other concepts. Thank you all. I will send you this file for the practice. Try to complete the flat file exercises, which I'm going to send it to you. Okay. Thank you all. We will meet tomorrow, same time.